And if you want to donate toward that incentive, you can do so by typing !donate in the chat and visiting donate.midwestspeedfest.com. Once again, thank you for everybody who is watching today. This is Midwest Speedfest Fall Frenzy. We are going to be here for 4 days speedrunning various games in support of One Iowa, a charity organization that advances, empowers, and improves the lives of LGBTQ Iowans statewide. And look, I've been harping on the UFO ending incentive for Silent Hill Shattered Memories quite a bit, but we do have another incentive that still has to be met, and that is for bonus game number 1. We need $400 for that, currently sitting at 43, and it is none other than Garbage Pail Kids, Mad Mike, and the Quest for Stale Gum. If we hit the incentive, Conception will perform an any % tourist run of that game. And if anyone listening to this is interested in participating in future events, I've been participating in Midwest Speedfest for several years now as runner, volunteer, host, various positions, so I can vouch for it. It's pretty fun. Are open to everybody, and anyone who can make it to Minneapolis, Minnesota in person can run or volunteer for the various on-site events. If you want to get involved, the best way to do that is to join the Discord server, and you can find out more about that by typing !Discord in the chat. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we have breaking news. We just got a $25 donation from Anonymous, no comment, but thank you very much for that donation, because with that, the UFO ending incentive has been met. I'm very happy about that. Thank you so much, everyone who donated to that, or just donated to the marathon in general. And it looks like that donation came in just in time, because we're about to transition over to Silent Hill Shattered Memories, a game with tons of personality, by which I mean 4 or 5, and it's being run by a person with quite the personality himself, shmumbler, with an any % DTS run of Silent Hill Shattered Memories. Take it away.
ございます。先ほどに引き続き司会荒市がお送りしております。いやー、先ほどのイルブリード、見るのは2回目なんですけど、やっぱりなかなかカロリーの高いゲームでしたね。というわけで、次のゲーム、サイレントヒルシャッタードメモリーズ、any %。で、こちらですね、解説の方おられませんので、もし、このゲームプレイしたことあるよとか、なんかシステム知ってるよとかいう方おられれば、解説またはチャットの方で、 解説していただけると非常に助かります。ちなみに私は、司会の新井地の方は全然ホラゲやらないタイプなので、全くわからないミリシラで今 GO しています。あとですね、このサイレントヒル、ビットの方設定されてまして、で、それは達成されてますね。UFO エンディング。名前だけは聞いたことありますね。まあ、きっと UFO が見えるんでしょう。
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to believe
あー、そっか、サイレントヒルの歌とかなんかあるんでしたっけ？
and we got it. So without further ado, here is shmumbler
て
getting
か
the
イルブリード多分始まった頃には全然入ってなかったと思うんですけど、あ、画面来ましたね。
All right. Well, yeah. Hi, I'm Shmumbler. This is Shattered Memories, and thanks to you, we get to be taking a bunch of fun little pictures. But I'm not on this journey alone. I've brought a familiar face with me, and that is your very own Abby's Corner here on commentary.
Hello. You may
来ま
have
したが、なん
remembered
か
me from the
状
run
況が
that
わかん
just
ないですね。
happened.
All right. Yeah, so without any further ado, I'll go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1, go.
はい、グッドラックです。始まりましたね。始まりましたけど、やっぱりなんか全然わかんないな。
This is fine. So,
Oh, no.
anyway, right away you're going to
I'm
be
glad you
seeing some
came.
strange things.
てか
Abby,
全
would
体
you
的に
care
記録
to
画像っぽ
explain
さがあ
what's
りますね。
going
あ
on
っちこっ
here?
ちに。
Okay, so normally we have to sit through
すごい、
cutscenes of
多分何にも
coughing
見
and
ずにチェッ
talking,
クマークを
but
全部入れた。
Shmumbler discovered that you can skip
Never cheated on a
cutscenes
partner,
by
really.
opening the tray. So we're gonna be doing that instead, so we can just get through things. And Shmumbler also discovered that by saying yes to everything, it is faster than saying
get started
no,
then.
because it takes longer to say no than it does yes.
This is true. For some reason, nods are like half the time as shaking your head. But yeah, so this is something that I found completely by accident. I have one of the slim PS2s. Also, press X to Cheryl.
なんか露骨に不
And
法
I
侵
had
入して
something
ますね。
sitting on top of my PS2 one day while I was running Shattered Memories, and I guess it was too heavy,
あ、
and the
1を
disc
再
stopped
構成した。
reading in the middle of one of those Kaufman
なる
sessions.
ほど。
And lo and behold, when I took it off, the game skipped forward. And this is going to be extremely beneficial because it basically means we don't have to listen to the world's most gaslighty therapist talk near as much as we otherwise would. Over the course of a run, so an any percent run for this game is about an hour, 19, 20 minutes for any percent. With the disc tray skips, it brings it down to closer to 110. Probably lower because I don't actually tend to do well when I'm doing these runs, but that's beside the point. But yeah, so most of the Kaufman sessions we're going to be able to skip forward through. There's also some other cutscenes that we're going to be able to do the same
すごい
thing.
スムーズに、あまりにもスムーズに不法侵入しているために、
But not
本当
all.
に何が起こっているのか全然わかんないですね。
This is a little tricky because
なんかさっきの一番最初のものはカウンセリングか何かっぽかったですが。
cutscene that the game doesn't want you to skip. It does introduce the potential for crashing. The skips that I'll be doing today are all of the safe ones that, like, 99% of the time don't have anything wrong with them. But I do have some backup saves just in case. Wow, third can. I've literally not had that happen for the past, like, 100 runs.
Yay! It should be noted that how you answer that opening survey The
鍵を
cans
自
will
動
be
で
different.
自動で使用
Also
してい
how
る。
Sybil looks,
鍵を自動で使用している。
will be different as well. And of course, we're entering the diner here, and then we have to phone the phone number for UFOs.
Yes, we have to call the United Fruitcake Organization, or UFO for short. Hopefully I get good ring RNG, because that's a thing.
Yeah.
I did not.
And luckily, you don't have to listen to the entire call. Once they pick up, you can immediately hang up the phone. That is usually how most of the calls work.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're like, I don't even have to listen for the first bit of dialogue. You can hear like a soft little click when they first answer and just immediately back out. So here's our first UFO. There are 13 in total. To get the UFO ending, I have to take a picture of all of them. And
あ、本当
kindly
だ。
enough, that
スマ
one I
ホ。
can actually
ス
just
マ
take a picture of
スマ
without
ホ
even
の
looking at it.
確かにちょっと手前ぐらいのやつですね。でもタッチパネル使ってますね。
And all of this said, now we're getting from like one of our exploration segments into I just refer to them as chases. There's not really any combat in this game. Cheryl is actually going to be cluing us into this fact by telling us that we have to run. But
And that we can't fight them.
yeah,
Run.
but yeah, basically the whole game is split
この
into
サイレン
two
トヒル
segments. You
の
have
その
your
シナリオってうっすらとした
regular
認識しかないんですけ
if
ど、
you
な
want to
ん
keep
か
it in
い
the
なくなった
Silent
娘
Hill
を
kind
お
of
父さんが探しに行くみたいな
This
話
would
でし
be
たよ
the
ね。
equivalent to our fog world, where it's basically just the regular world. We're going around exploring, solving puzzles from time to time, stuff like that. And then every now and then, the world will freeze over and we'll be thrown into one of these little fun bits where we have to run from the beginning to the end, avoiding all of the monsters of the games. And this is like the bane of the speedrun, but also like the part where you can make the most time, because there is a fun little thing that we like to refer to as dude speed.
あ、なるほど。一斗さんがその話、ありがとうございます。
This is just because of the fact that Punchy always calls the Raw Shops dudes, but
なんか今ダイナミックに開けましたね
basically we want to
だい
get
ぶ
screamed
扉を。
at by an enemy as soon as possible, which is not happening right now, and I'm not quite
Oh.
happy about that. But once an enemy spots you for the first time, they'll scream, you'll get a, what did you say, 20% speed boost?
Yes. 20% speed boost, and then we can go zoom through the level.
Yeah.
なんか
So
ホラー
this
ゲームにしてはやたら動きがスタイリッシュっていうかなんか出てきた。
So I got a
なんか出
very
てきた。
late
End of the
scream.
sequence. And then the grab. Oh dear.
2 grabs.
あ、
Literally
な
the
るほど。
worst
通
it's
話死ん
ever
だ
been,
妻
and
から
the
手紙が
latest
届いて探しに
start
行った
it's
り。
ever been. So
ありが
this
とう
is
ござい
off
ま
to
す。
a great
みんな
start.
探しに行ってるんだな、何かを。
The game knows that you're skipping the Kaufman sections, and it's like, I'm gonna make you suffer some other way.
Okay, so low key, I think it actually does because the enemies are way more aggressive when I do this than when I do regular runs.
あ、
It's
これはなん
really
かあれ
weird.
なのかな。
But
今
like
まで
I'll
の
get
記憶の
patterns that
話
I
をしてた
never
りする
get.
のかな。
Let's leave that topic for a while. I want to talk
Hey,
about
can you?
family.
I don't want to talk about family.
It's
Can we
important
skip?
to give
There we
Amy
go.
that.
There we go.
Would you say it takes a while for people
Oh
to
right,
get
say
to
yes to
know?
everything. So yeah, you can see. Well,
Uh-huh.
it's skipped there, so you
People
don't
can
see.
choose their friends, but not their family. Would you prefer
But
to
yeah,
spend
so
time
not
ジョンは自宅に閉じ込められたので出口を探します。それ脱出ゲームじゃないですか。
Like 1.8
Nothing
seconds or something
surprising
like
there.
that.
You're finished.
And there was a little bit where I skipped a segment of dialogue that would
lovely
introduce a
family
little
home.
coloring
Is
page.
your
You
home
color it
like
in, the
this?
changes reflect on the actual house and car and all of that in this next cutscene.
ちなみにこの
But
エニーパー、
you can
カ
also
テゴリーの
just
エ
leave it
ニー
blank
パ
and
ー
everything is
DTS が
gray
ス
and
ピードラン .com にな
So
か
that's
っ
what we do.
たので、
And goodbye. And now we're in
な
a
んか
car
こ
ride
こオ
with
リジ
Sybil.
ナルのやつかな。
And typically this is like
Officer Sybil Bennett.
a minute and a half
Anything happens to my
cutscene.
daughter, I'll hold you responsible.
But what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go ahead and do the little disc tray opening. skip forward to the second half, and since I was moving the entire
Very
time
restless back
before
there,
it
Mr.
skipped,
Mason. Anything you
I
want to tell
still
me?
get the fastest
Restless?
dialogue
Of
possible,
course I'm restless. I'm
which
worried
is
about my
really
daughter.
cool because
She's 7 and she's out there in
like
this blizzard.
that.
Sorry.
It's
I
weird
didn't
that
mean to-
works
Just hurry up
because
and get us to the station.
if you go through the entire first half of the ride, you have to be moving the whole time.
あ、脱
Can't
出ゲー
just
ム
do
で
it
合っ
for
て
that
あ
2
合
seconds
って
and
るん
be
だ。
done.
This weather's just unbelievable.
Whew.
Damn, can't even see the road.
And now
gonna
Sybil's
see
gonna
exactly where
abandon
we
us, and
Stay
we're gonna
put.
run away because that's what we do in this game. Hopefully the lock actually unlocked. I have a terrible habit of pulling up that lock, and then when I let go, it drops it back down a little bit, and then the door stays locked.
Yeah, it should be noted that this was originally a Wii game, so there's a bunch of motion control things. So it's like, yay.
里帰りしたら故郷がえらいことになってるダウンプア。はあ。サイレントヒル世界ってなんか大変なんですね。
Yeah.
人がいなくなったりとか、なんか故郷がえらいことになったりとか、自宅の脱出ゲームになったりとか。
Yeah, so speaking of the Wii version and motion controls, for the longest time, everyone thought the Wii version was the fastest version of this game because load times are better. You have motion controls instead of a slow cursor to go through like the sessions and notes and puzzles and interactions, all that jazz. The downside of the Wii version, though, that ultimately led to PS2 being faster, is first off, there's a whole cutscene later on in the game that you can just skip on PS2 and PSP, but on the Wii version, it's like in-game rendered, so you can't.
And this is also the first place where the run differentiates from any percent as we head into these cabins. We don't go into these cabins in any percent. We take a little bit of a difference of the route.
Yeah, we usually cut
that is
left
the
into
thing.
the forest. So we take a little detour there, but for good reason. That was our second UFO photo.
And the third one is coming up here very shortly. Again, when it comes to the different categories, such as all mementos and UFO, the game likes to
暗いところを走ってますね、
front
この
load
人
those
が。
areas where you're going to find a lot of them together, and then it's going to do these. Hey, it's been a really long time since you found one.
ちょっと先ほどチャットに上がっていた 2% DTS とは何ぞやというのを探したんですけど、 結局私の調べでは分からずじまいでして、とりあえずなんかカテゴリーというか、その奏者さんの応募時の説明で、多分その
So
なんだろう
there,
今の電話とか
there's
ああ
a
いう
phone
の
call
を
that's from
なんか
Sybil.
スキップする。
Technically, we can just ignore it and let it go to voicemail, but when you pull out your phone, you walk a little bit. So I just keep running to the left until I hit
そのカットシーンをこうスキップして、めちゃくちゃ速くなったぜっていうことだけしか分かりませんでした。
And I did not mean to pull out the phone there, ignore that. But doing that
あ
interrupts the
の
phone
面白い
call
作
and
品
makes
も
it go
多いの
straight
で、
to
みんなも
voicemail
ペーパ
anyway.
ーサイレント
So
ヒーラ
just
ーなろう
let
っ
me
て、
avoid that
ペーパー
one.
でいいんですか、それ。
And now we have reached the cabin in the woods, and we are on to our second chase sequence.
ザラザラしてきましたね。
There is a
やっ
funny
ぱなんか
little
フィル
bit
ム
here
と
that
か
can
あ
really
の
just screw over your
なん
run,
か映像機
where
器をなんか
you can't go through this
念
door
頭
until
に
the
置
whole
いて
cabin
そうな演
freezes
出
over.
の気がしますね。
The door is locked
多分
beforehand to
あ
prevent you from
の
doing
なん
that.
かカウンセラー的な人に話し
Right
て
as it
い
finishes
る記
freezing
憶みたい
over,
な感
if
じ
you
ですか
open
ね。
the door, like the frame that becomes unlocked, you will actually leave the cabin
ああ、なるほど。
and
Wii だとスキ
still
ップできないから
be in the
PS2 の
normal
方が
world.
早い。
And then you have to
あり
go
がとうござ
back
います
into the cabin, get the screen, and wait all over again. And it's really annoying.
I've never seen that happen, thankfully.
I have
So,
multiple
haha.
times.
Oh no.
Alright, got a good screen. This is one of my least favorite chases. It's not my least favorite, but it's up there. I'm gonna try
But the music is so good.
to... It is! I
はい
love
と
this
っても
song.
スピーディー、スピーディー。
It's a good jammer. Oh, I don't like that. You're right there. I don't like using the flare, but I guess I
あれ
have
なんか
to.
木の根っこみたいなのに混じってなんか敵がいますこれ。
So, yeah, more about the quote-unquote combat of this game. Basically, if a raw shot catches you, they latch onto you, and you push the face button corresponding to the direction it's grabbed you from in
あ
order
あ
to
と
push
カ
it
テゴ
off.
リを調べるついでに
On the Wiimote, you would
調
actually
べ
make
る
the motion, which
で
is such
こ
a...
ちらの奏者さんの
The one defense you
記
have
録を調べてたんですけ
are
ど、
flares.
2% で世界
And
2
when
位
you
の
light
方
them, they will continue to chase you, but they will not get close to you, and
shmumbler
they
さん
will not
かな
attack you.
世界2位の
The
方で、
downside
で
is
上位勢は
it
多分
really
プラットフォーム
tanks
が
the frame
PS2 が
rate.
占めてるので、
This
多分さっ
is
き
actually the
さっ
reason
きの
why
その
PSP
Wii だとスキップ
is
できないけ
not
ど
great,
PS2 だ
because
と
even
ス
though
キ
the
ップできる
PSP
ってい
you just tend to
う
move faster
環
in
境
the
差
normal world,
が関係してる
the
のか
frame
なと
rate
は思
in
い
the
ました。
chase sequences is so bad that you end up losing all the time you would save otherwise. Oh, got a third. Though ironically, for a while, I
もしかしてあれはピアノを弾くとなんか氷が崩れる的なギミック
The
Do you?
power of the PlayStation TV. 'Cause I'm guessing it was PlayStation TV.
It was, but fun fact about that, the PSP Go is
なんか落ち
actually
てきましたね、向
faster
こうの方
than
で。
the PSTV.
向こうの方で落ちてきたのをガン無視して目の前の扉に進みましたね。
But
Because
yeah,
fun fact.
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, I was gonna
no.
say fun fact that the PSP version of Silent Hill Origins is the fastest version. So it's just kind of funny that it's not the same case.
なんか
for
襲ってくる人たち
Shattered
は火に弱いんですかね。
I shouldn't have dropped it. That's fine. We're fine.
火か光かわかんないですが。おお
Memories.
Oh, come on.
おお
That seemed like it was short enough a time that they shouldn't have gotten me. Alright, this is fine.
扉を開けるために
I'm
なんか
just
後
gonna
ろから
drag
粉木じ
myself
じいみたい
across
のが
the
抱きつい
finish
てきま
line
すね。
here. If there is anything that you would like
今
to
扉の向こうからやってきたや
pause
つを
for,
華麗にスルーしましたね。
be a good time.
Well, I would just like to remind everyone, we do have one more incentive that's currently available for bonus game number 1, Garbage Pail Kids, Mad Mike, and the quest for Still Gun. I will never get tired of
急に明るくなっ
It is a $400 incentive. We're currently
これは
sitting
橋
at
ですね。急に外に出ましたね。
$42. We still have time to get there, but if you wouldn't mind donating toward that, I'd really appreciate it.
Please do. We need all the runs we can fit into a schedule.
急に道が開きましたね。道
Never
ってい
say
うか
no to
こ
more content.
うわあ、ダイナミック不法侵入。
It's true.
All right, so we're coming up now on another phone call from Sybil, and this is one of very few phone calls that we can just actually skip using the distrace tech. So what I'm gonna do
あれ、
is
道ができてるってことは、金網の破れたところみんなが通ってるってことなんですか
open
ね。
the lid before I answer that.
あ
And
あ、
that's gonna make it
PSP
just
版ビータ
immediately
PTV で
go
プレイし
on. That is
ありがとうございます。
really nice because that's like a 30-second phone call. And now,
So
no
we
Kaufman,
get to the
no.
halcyon days of
I
high
don't
school.
want to talk about high school. Nobody wants to talk about high school.
Okay.
It is also not the halcyon days. I will
Slut.
tell you that much.
Definitely not.
Uh,
Anyway, we are going to nod as much as we can here. Just nod to everything.
Virgin.
We are everything. We are the omni-person.
bully.
We fit every stereotype ever
And-
imaginable.
Slacker.
And now we're going to hope that he skips this
Okay.
text because
Let's
sometimes
take
he
a
doesn't.
different tack. On the table,
Perfect.
なんか謎パズル的なものが出てきた。
So yeah, we had a nice big
Nice.
lecture there about
If that was all
how
there was to it, it would have been a breeze. wouldn't it?
defying to our
Come
personality
on,
high school
let's
is
talk
and
more about
all
the
that
bad
fun stuff.
that
And
happened at school.
not really feeling that right now. I'd rather just, play the game, take some pictures. Which, speaking of which, boom. There's our next UFO.
Hooray!
I'm really not
時々
kidding,
ディ
by
ス
the
ク
way,
ト
when
レイ
I
開
say
け
that
てる。そうですね。
Calvin
その
is
多
the
分
most gaslighty
説明からしたら
therapist
ディス
I've
クトレイ
ever
を開け
seen
る
in my
と
life.
そのカット
Like,
シ
the
ーンな
man
どをス
does
キップで
nothing
き
but
る
insult us the entire time
とい
you
う
play the
も
game.
のらしいです。ディスクトレイだったかな。そうですね。対話中にディスクトレイを開くとセリフを今のセリフをなんていうかスキップして次のセリフをこ
He really is
う
a
出すみた
terrible
いなことをやってる
therapist.
みたいです。
I would recommend firing him immediately.
でそういうのを
And
駆
like,
使して
that's
いろいろ
just
と
how
ス
he
キップし
talks
て
to
る。
us. That's not even
いろいろ
considering
と
the
カット
fact
シーン
that
み
he's
たいなのを
literally
スキ
just
ップしてる
drinking
という
whiskey
感じら
the
しい。
entire time that we're in
デ
session.
ィスクトレイスキップ。そうかもしれませんね。なるほど。カテゴリ
And
じゃ
then
な
we
く
have
っ
the
て
next
こう
UFO coming
手段
up here very
という意味
shortly.
だったらそうですね。そうかもしれません。
Like I said, the game sometimes front loads these things very close together, as we are going to get 3 more in a very short amount of time.
It's also a very tiny route divergence because we have to come up the stairs here, but we also just turn back and come back the same way.
Yes, unlike all mementos where you have to jump across the roof and go inside the other building.
Mementos are, gosh, they are a commitment. So there's 13 UFOs, right? And there's, what, 24 mementos?
25.
25.
So
Imagine
almost
fitting
double
up-
the amount.
Yeah. Imagine fitting all of those together.
なんかでっかい建物にたどり着きましたね。ね。
Ooh, got good nails.
お
This pleases me
Always
greatly.
nice to
そ
get
こから
good
入るんですか
good nails.
そ
Nails
こ
are
から
so
入るんですか
annoying. Oh my god.
そこから入ろうとしますね。
Cursor for this game is so finicky. And the hitbox,
な
I
んかま
guess,
ともに
that you can
扉から
grab the
入っ
nails
てるのとそうで
is
ないのが半々ぐらいのように見えますね。
weirdly placed because it's like 2 of the nails, it's the head of the nail. On the other 2, it's like the bend. It's our other UFO sitting neatly on the principal's head.
I never noticed that you could take those pictures so far apart.
I didn't either until I started making safety saves and I was being very slow here.
そうですね。ずっ
But
と
yeah,
戦
you can
闘は
actually take the picture of
戦
that
闘ら
one
しい
as
ものは
soon
な
as
い
you
で
get
す
out
ね
the。door, which is nice because
多分
staying to the right is a little bit faster.
変なのがこう背中にへばりついてくるみたいなのがありますけど。
If you're not doing disc tray skip, you want to take the left room and do the art room puzzle. But the planetarium has slightly less movement for the phone number you have to dial.
お電話かけてる。電話かけて
Or
ます
bad
ね。
ring RNG. The worst. So 3 rings is the maximum you can get, and I've gotten that both times. But yeah, so normally you would have to go through the art room because which room's puzzle you complete actually affects some dialogue in a later cutscene. But since I can skip that dialogue, it doesn't matter. So I go to the one with the fewest button inputs. Oh, that could have been bad.
I was gonna say, don't forget the UFO in the corner.
なんか浮いてる。
Gosh, that's the most annoying one too, because you have to get so close to it before it will register it as
Welcome
a
to Midweek.
picture.
なんかでかそうな建物で
Now
す
I
ね。
hope you're ready for the possibility of Shakespeare.
Oh, I hate this puzzle so much. So we get to
Indeed.
so we get to reset password because we're trying to find out where our house is because we don't remember.
スコーピオ。
And there is
Please.
there are several possible responses you can give, and this is actually a really good one.
お戦えないシステム。なるほど。い
But one of those,
や、まあそういう
or two of those choices,
なんか
the
逃
two
げる
worst
タイプ
ones
のホラーゲー
are
とか、まあ
Racquetball
戦うタイプのやつもありますけど、
and Twelfth Night with a space.
And luckily, you don't need me to go on my Shakespeare rant on your behalf because you didn't get it. Everything is fine.
Yep.
あー、なん
Also,
か
I
急に全
did
然
not
違うと
expect
ころ
that
に
cutscene to be
行ったような
skippable
気が
when
し
I
ましたが。
started doing this stuff, but it actually like just straight up never gives you a problem.
確かになんか上下のノイズがこうひどくなってる気がするので、なんかこう記憶がめちゃくちゃになってるのかもしれない
Really
ですね。
strange because it's like the only transition cutscene that you can do that. Oh, hi.
今までの主人公が戦いすぎ
Something
る
like
か
that.
ら。ああ、
Yeah.
サイレントヒルもそんな感じなんですかね。
Yay! I mean, early dude speed, but still,
Double grab.
と
getting
いうことは、まあ、今のこの粉木じじいしてる人とかから基本的には戦わずに逃げるだけ振り払いとかしかで
This
き
is
ない
my
っていう。
least favorite chase sequence. The first half of this is always bad. It's never not bad.
マラソンって言われたら確かにそうかもしれない。
Worse than usual, even for that. But nope. Come on, I staggered you.
I've never had it this bad. Oh my.
I'm telling you, the disc trace gifts make them just so much worse.
They're just like, oh, you think you can speed this up by skipping cutscenes?
まあなんか武器で戦わない代わりというか、かなりこの主人公の人は身軽でなんか
Personally, I'm allergic
スピーディー
to
に動きますね。
infection, so
ん
that's why you'll see that I start to limp once
Oh.
I've been hugged a few too many times.
そうですね。熱烈なファンの人がたまに
But anyway,
こ
that's
う
the
背
first
中から
half.
か
The
ぶさ
second
ってく
half
るのを
should
振り
go
払ってます
way
ね。
more smoothly,
人気者は大変だ。
assuming I didn't just curse it. But Abby, if you would care to explain
あー、
Abby's
さっきからより
strategies.
なんかあれですね、はちゃめちゃになってる感じがしますね。記憶なのかわかんないですけど、ステージが
I apparently found a new strat for this by going in this direction and taking a picture
なんか
of
ノイズが増えてる。
the van here and then
なんか
turning
障害物
around,
的ななんか
which
像みたい
causes
な
them
障
to
害物
not
を
notice you for a
撮
really
影
long time.
かなんかすると
I
取り
don't
除かれ
know
るの
how
かな。
the old strat went. I was just like, oh, nobody's yelling at me here, so this
あー、
works.
なるほど。敵がいる演出、そうかもしれない
Wait
で
a
すね。
minute. This is so much faster. And I was like, oh, all right then. Let's go.
Yeah, it's actually really funny. This used to be terrible on both halves, and the only difference is
いや、
that
なんかスタイリッシュですね。だいぶスタイ
in
リッ
this
シュな気が
hallway
する、
I'm
動
about
き
to
が。
come to, rather than going towards the car, we would come out left towards the showers, and that apparently just makes the game spawn raw shocks a lot more and a lot more quickly.
あとさっきとの
yeah.
なんか通路の違いが分かんなくなってきたので、多分これ私が遊んだら絶対迷うなっていう確信があります。
But there's that done. No harm, no foul. This is so. I'm not gonna open the disc tray here.
I was about
Specifically
to head out, but I
because-
ought to wait a little longer.
Yeah,
Thanks.
this is a 100% guaranteed
Any luck
crash
with the
if you
phone?
try to skip it.
They didn't make any sense.
And
I
I'm
need to go there.
assuming the
Is
reason
the
for
street
that is
address?
because
That's
your end
the other side of
position
town.
is
迷
not
って
the
る間に
same
ファンに
as
捕ま
your
る。多分
starting
そうです
position
ね。
in the
Getting a ride with
cutscene,
John.
so it doesn't
Ah.
reconcile those without Harry.
確かに寒そうだ。この
moving
服は
to
この
spots.
めちゃ雪が降ってる中ではちょっと
Basically the same.
雪をなめ
That would be great.
寒さをなめ腐ってるとしか思えないような
And
服
the
装
best
です
part
ね。もう
is
せ
it's
めて
not
1
even
枚羽織
like
って
the
ほしい。
crashing that can happen at other spots
You want my
where
jacket? You're going
the
to
game
freeze.
just loads
I'm
perpetually
used to
and you
running
have to
around in a
reset.
dress. I'm too
No, this is a
hot-blooded
hard
to feel the
crash.
cold.
You have
Feel
to
bad, you sure?
Yeah, keep it.
physically
You're the car
unplug
crash
the
guy.
console to reset it.
You
You
think
can't
you
even
like your
just hold down
daughter?
the power button.
Constantly.
I'm sure she's okay.
I can't get my head around it.
Well then,
She was in the
that
back
sounds
sleeping, then the
unfortunate.
crash. She was gone.
Your head is
Oh,
still
dear.
jumbled up, Harry. You just give it a while, okay?
While
You should
we're
go see a
walking
doctor.
slowly
I'll make sure
to,
Cheryl is safe, then worry about myself.
the club.
でしかも
is there anything
お
the
しゃれな
host
スカー
would
ト
like to,
本当に寒そ
or
う。上も下も寒い。見てるだけで寒い。しかも口から白い息が出てる。絶対寒いじゃん。
Give a bit of a reminder. I've seen this happen a couple
なんで
of
こ
times,
の
but,
女性は
if you
こう
subscribe to
息が
my
白くないんですか
request or cheer
幻覚
bit,
ですかもしかして。
that also counts toward the amount that's getting donated to One Iowa at the end of the marathon. And if you have
主
Amazon
人公は
Prime,
白い息吐いてるの
always
に、
subscribe
この
to
人なんか
Free.
白い息吐いてないよ。
And I'm just
本当に
throwing this out
生身
into
の
the
人間これ。
future.
Really?
Donate X amount of
It's
dollars
pretty
per raw
popular.
shot grab?
You work there, right?
Maybe?
見えてる世界が人によって違ったりするので、ドレスの人には主人公
Yeah,
が
you could
次
definitely
に。
do that. I would recommend $1 because there's gonna be a lot.
Staying in Massachusetts. He's a lawyer.
If y'all want to
Need to
play a
decide if
different
I'm going to
game,
move out or anything.
I do
You
have an
wanna go to
idea.
Massachusetts?
Yeah.
I
Well,
will
not Massachusetts so
I will be
much.
donating
I wanna
$5
be
for
with
every
John.
gumball it
And
takes
John?
once we hit the
He
mall
wants it too.
for me to
It's just
continue.
hard.
Because
We've
that could
been
be
together for
anywhere
5
from
years, but we
four
never
if I
lived
have
together.
perfect
人でない
RNG
可能性は
to
めちゃくちゃあると思いますよ。いや、マジでこの人も幻覚っていうのはありそう。
Yeah.
But there are
It's
four
probably just
colored
lousy at
gumballs that we'll
showing.
have to grab,
No lawyers.
and
いやー、ずっと歩いてる
not
だけですけど、
only
ずっと寒
is
そうです
it
ね。
random which colors you get each time,
Back in
but
school, he was
they do
very
repeat.
passionate.
So
They say
I've
absence makes the
the
heart grow
best I've ever
fonder.
had was
You
6.
believe that?
The worst I've ever
Absolutely.
had was like 20. So yeah, if anybody wants to play along, feel free to. Alright. So now we've got ourselves a bit of a quote-unquote puzzle where we have to find keys. Don't pay attention to the fact that I'm going through the door on the left. If you go through the door on the right, it's the exact same room for some reason.
Don't go crying into my thing.
But the keys are
Shenanigans.
always...
I said shenanigans.
Yeah. But the key is always in the third place that you interact with. So you saw that I just, didn't even look inside the purse or behind the curtains. I just
今回、マルチエンディングらしいと。
started the
で、
interaction.
今回、ビットで選ばれてるので、UFO エンディングですね。
That particular line just happens to be the easiest and
ビ
the
ット達成
fastest.
してるので、UFO エンディングを見に行くはずです。
Also, shout outs to this car ride for being another
みんな大好き
massive
UFO。
bit that we can skip. And
Hooray!
now we come to levers. There's a little
So-
bit of RNG here.
Yes.
Go ahead.
The
ここは
green.
まだ普通の空間に見え
We
ま
want
す
to
ね。
pull every lever a little bit. We don't want to pull them all the way down. Yellow is the one on the right, and red is the left, and blue is the middle. And I always remember it as RB, no. Yes, RBY is how I remember it. And of course, the one thing, by the way, if green is the last one, you have
Let's
to
go.
wait for the sound of the bridge going down before exiting the
Level
door.
with
If
me,
you
Harry.
open the door before green is done, it will reset and you have to do it all over again.
Technically, or at least in my opinion, the best one is to start with green because then you can pull down all 3 levers pretty much all the way.
これ回
and
す
you don't have to
回
worry
す
about
タイ
being
プ
at the
の
end.
窓を開けるやつ
Technically,
が
Enemy
回すタイ
green
プ
is also good because you can go ahead and exit the puzzle and just walk to the door but not open the door.
スイッチじゃなくて
That
回して
way
開ける
you
タイ
don't
プ
have to waste time running all the way to the door afterwards.
これ水入ってきてるんですね多分
All right.
So right now we're falling to the
なん
bottom
か
of the
気がついたら
river,
沈んでて
um,
水が入ってきてる
and just
で
waiting
鍵を開け
for
て
water
出ようとしてる
to consume the car. We cannot leave the back doors or the front door currently, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And also the neat glitch you can get here. If
い
you
や思い
time
ま
the
した
switch
あの
correctly,
スマホ
eventually your
純
phone
スマホがある世界
will
で
pocket, and it's going to be
ここ回
floating
すタイ
on
プなんだ
the opposite side you're sitting on. So what you're wanting to do
いや
is
まあ
you're
ある
wanting to
に
see
は
what
あ
the
りますけど
shmumbler
ね
is right now, and it's going to float up to the back. And so you're gonna move to the right and grab the flashlight at the exact same time and warp up to the front as you just saw there.
う
And
わ
now
ー
we need
水
to
が
wait
水が
for the radio to start flashing.
Yeah, our
なんか
lovely
横の
Rorschach
人止まってま
friends
す
are
ね。
writing us messages on the window.
I don't know what the
ヒ
message says.
Yeah, I actually am amazed. I just straight up can't read it. That's wow.
まあみんなはこんな感じで閉じ込められたら、本来は窓ガラスを割って出ていきましょうね。多分扉は開かないので。
And we're out of there.
Indeed. And now comes another
Nasty,
therapy
but
session.
inevitable. Everyone is going to die. Even if we like to pretend, you'd drink yourself to death. It's
Probably not. But I see your point. Alright, so yeah, we get forward again as usual. We go ahead and put these down.
あ、
Order
話
doesn't
の
matter,
中
so
で
we
どう
just kind of
なん
put
か
them
人
wherever
を
closest
こう
space
分
is.
類
There's no right answer.
You probably are
Of course,
also
just
noticing.
They were all dead.
Sorry.
なんか夢の話じゃない記憶の話を整理して
If you put them all
こ
towards
う状況整理をしてるのかな
he goes, no fooling you. But again, it
ああ
takes
このテストでエン
longer
ディング
than
が変わ
just
るありが
clicking
とう
the
ござい
three
ま
on the
す
right on the right. And now, here comes the very special moment as another runner,
Who's Dahlia?
exterior Emma, has
A girl.
added an extra bit
The
here.
car went into the river.
Because
She
you may
drowned.
notice
あれこれ
that,
主人
Another
we're
crash?
currently being wheeled by
This is a
Sybil,
different girl?
You must have seen the
because we
bridge.
almost
We went
died of
right off the side.
hypothermia.
Harry,
As
the
we
bridge
were
has been
soaked
closed since the
to the
storm
skin.
started. You swam.
This is unskippable,
of
but
hypothermia.
eventually Sybil will
clothes.
turn into
We were
ice
soaked to
as
the
we go back
skin.
into Iceland,
I grabbed what I could find
as
here.
I like to call it. Of course,
need
for
to
those who
talk.
also don't know, this is a
When
retelling
I was at the
of
station, I
the
pulled the
original
file on
Silent Hill.
Harry Mason.
Granted,
あー死んでてどの写真が眠ってるああ答えは
as
全部
there's self-help
あ
and
ー
whatnot.
お
But yes, chat,
なんか
I
止ま
hope
り
you
ま
are
したね
ready to become wheels.
ん
Moving wheels,
ん
moving wheels. I'm a
パラリンピックが始まった
Studebaker Coupe.
車椅子レースが始まりましたが
So fun fact,
え
you can sit here forever and be perfectly fine. There's nothing chasing you at all.
えー、
Here.
これでそんなに早く動け
We've
る
got to move forward. And also, we have to take Lisa and
ああ
He's fine. Just walk it off.
車椅子レースを普通に普通ではないな
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, a tank. He can
あ
survive
スタイ
20
リッシュ
tugs.
なレースが終わったところでここで司会交代のお時間になりましたので私はこれで失礼いたしますここまでの司会荒市がお送りいたしました引き続きミッドウェストスピードファストゴルフエンジお楽しみくださいでは失礼いたします
So they'll have weird heads or they'll be having like holes and stuff. And it's kind of interesting.
God, there's so many of them.
Yes, welcome to the hospital where this happens all the time.
はい、ここからは司会進行交代いたしまして、うさしんが担当いたします。皆様、声の方聞こえていらっしゃいますでしょうか。はい、ありがとうございます。サイレントヒルシャッタードメモリーズですけれども、私も、ホラーゲームを一切プレイしたことが、ございませんので、ミリシラ状態で話すこととなりますので、ご存知の方、解説入れますよっていう方はまだまだ募集しておりますので、よろしくお願いします。喋れないよっていう方はテキストの方でフォローしていただけると助かります。今は何をしてるのかな？
Come on, good ring RNG, please. Ah, there we go. One ring. Perfect.
Hooray! And of course, you can hang up immediately after the fact, so it works.
Yep. So basically, what we did is there's all of these songs here. We have to pick the correct one, which naturally is Daddy's Girl.
You know, I've never seen that poster ever. I
一
didn't
応
know there was a
配
poster.
信はちらちら見てたんですけど、交代時の直後はちょっと内容を見てなかったので、全然前後がわからない状
And
態
now that we're done with that, we get to meet a familiar face for
で
those who
す
have
けど、
played Silent
こ
Hill
こ
1.
は病
Say
院
hello to Lisa. We're going
But
to
also
skip
prepare to
forward through
be
this.
skipped.
Yes. Oh wow, it usually skips both halves. That's weird.
Today. It's my day off, but we were.
Also, she's driving an ambulance.
My apartment isn't
ア
far.
リーおじさん、どうしよ
I'm
う。あ、
actually
何
going to
かから
try
逃げて
to
るんですね。
skip her dialogue here.
Freezing wind.
You
Um,
cold?
I'm too tired to feel it.
actually, she's got her normal
You know
dialogue.
the
That's
average ER nurse gets
interesting.
less than 5.
Oh, wow, you almost cut in front of me. Don't do that, please. So yeah, when you're in the walking segments, you can open the disc tray, and it doesn't actually speed anything up. All it does is it cuts their
後
dialogue.
ろには
They
何か映ってる
stop talking.
の？さっき助けた
Which, you know,
女の人
normally it's
女
pretty
の
innocuous,
人じゃない
but
のか。
with the nature of disc tray skip, the route you go through ends up making this a really awkward conversation because it puts you on the path where Harry is very much like a sexual pest. And we don't want to listen to that. So, yeah.
Yes, and obviously with Lisa behind us, we're also getting pushed forward a bit. So it works. Just a wee bit. In the any percent route and also non-disc tray skips,
Not
what we
far
would
now.
normally
You
do
still
is we
feeling
would
okay?
cross the
Yeah.
street so that
Fine.
Lisa's off screen, and
So
then we
tell
would
me
cut
about your
ahead of her
daughter.
once we
Cheryl?
turn the alley
She's,
into her apartment in order to get
she's
pushed
young,
forward.
Bright, happy. Likes collecting stuff.
So it
bits and
works.
pieces,
ジャケッ
bugs.
トも
She
変わっ
loves
ている。
Bugs?
なるほど。ちょっと
The
衣
only
装まで
reason
は
I'm
あ
able
んまり
to
目がい
have
ってな
her
かったで
so
すね。
early this way
She
is
has a
because
collection.
it actually
Dead
spawns
ones?
Lisa
Yeah.
where you first
Still
see
creepy.
her by the
Not
ambulance
really.
instead of
You
in
seem to
front
see
of
the
you where it
creepy in
normally
everything.
does.
Is that a nurse thing or just you?
Definitely a nurse thing. We have a unique outlook on life.
And now we get to
Whatever
have
happened to bedside
fun.
manner?
We still got that.
Oh,
So-
yes.
Special cases.
This upcoming cutscene has some bizarre behavior anyway, but recently I got a really weird glitch, and it turns out it might be replicable, so I'm going to try to do that. It does lose a little bit of time.
What?
建物に入
watch some
っ
TV,
て、
watch some TV.
Watch some TV. Watch
Oh,
some
this is
TV.
normal.
Watch some TV. Watch some TV if you want. I won't be long.
I'm going to open it there.
You know, last time.
Are you sure about
Oh,
that?
it skipped. It skipped. It didn't do it. Okay. So, what can
ここは
happen
誰かの家なんですかね。
is if you
Look in the
you
cabinet.
open the disc tray right before she starts talking the second time, she'll actually just like freeze and slowly slide through the wall while floating in the air, and it's
あ、な
really
るほど。
funny.
何かのカットシーンか何かをスキップしたんですかね。
Feel guilty
We did
about
get the
everything.
fastest skip we could, so
When we all lived
there's
in
that.
huts and wore
Hooray,
furs,
and
we
now,
worried over the
After we
simple
talk about
of-
guilt,
Prince,
which we're going to skip,
You want to hear that
hopefully,
again?
we're going to get UFO number
Done.
8.
Poor Bull. You couldn't ignore
No,
the facts.
we
the
don't.
worst.
He
It's
was
This is
really
the
one
worst
who
line in the
killed
game.
I find
He
the
was
best
the
cure
one
for
who
guilt
killed her.
is to never get caught in the first place.
He's such a creep.
Indeed. Caught in the first place.
You know, I
Yay.
would rather feel guilty about things I didn't do than not feel guilty about things I did and didn't get caught for. So, yeah. How about that, Kaufman?
Yeah.
また、
And of course,
さっきの家のような場所とはまた違うとこに 出てきましたね。またちょっと違う記憶というか、なんかそういう場面なんですかね。
UFO because I've been tending to forget this one lately.
Remember, it's on the left when you start going towards the malls.
Yeah,
I don't know,
I feel like the right path is
なる
faster,
ほ
so I
ど。
always do
選択
that.
肢で
And then I forget
様
to do it on
服
the
装
way
が
back.
変化するっていうことで、なるほ
Go
ど。
to the left.
それは結構面白いですね。まあ、だからその選択肢によって、まあ、エンディングも変わるというコメントも何かあったような気がしますので、まあ、その服装が何かエンディングの何かにちょっと絡んでくるような服装に変わっていくんですかね。
And then once we hit the
Lisa?
mall entrance, Lisa's gonna
God,
call
Harry.
us and
あ
be like,
今回は
"I'm in
ビッ
pain."
トウォーで UFO エンディングというふうになるというのが決まっておりますので、
The other phone
まあ
calls
それ
that
に
you're
準
actually
じ
able
た
to
選
skip.
択肢なの
And
か
fun
を、
bit that goes along with that is since the
やっ
game
てい
thinks
く
we're
のだ
supposed to
と
be in
は
a
思
call,
い
it
ま
just
す
like
が、
phases us through that door. Now, here's the thing. This next cutscene, you can skip, but it has a fairly high risk of crashing. So,
Oh no.
in the interest of marathon safety, I am not going to try to skip it. It's only like a 30-second dialogue anyway, it's not a huge loss.
Of course, one thing to mention as Lisa is now dead,
Don't
it doesn't
move.
matter if you give her the right pill or the wrong
This
pill,
isn't
she's going to die
I said
no
don't
matter
move.
what.
Stand up and step away from the girl.
This isn't what it looks like.
Yep,
先ほ
the
どの
only
家
difference
のような
is
と
how
こに
she
向
reacts
かっ
when
て
she
ると
calls you at the mall.
I
なん
didn't
か
do this.
Accident. Shut the hell up. You've been feeding
警官になんか銃を
I didn't. Shut up. I know
It is
you're
funny
not
that
Harry
she
Mason.
dies in a
何か
very
に容疑を
similar
か
way
けられ
to
て
Silent
る
Hill
ん
1.
ですかね。というところで雰囲気が
Just
変わっ
not
て
nearly with the heart-wrenchingness that the original had.
この雰囲気が変わると敵が襲ってくる
That scene still
モード
gives
に
me
変わるの
shivers.
かな。
I've never
Anyway.
played Silent Hill 1.
Aw, shame. Shame.
Is it
Anyway.
really shame or is it a blessing?
Shame. But here's the mall.
従来の裏世界。あ、なるほど。
On any percent tends to be fairly consistent. This tree skip less so. Yeah, so it's in the pool, so this is already off to a not great start.
Also,
At least
there
I
are three
got
of
to
them
the
in that
pool.
room.
Yeah. Oh, there you are.
まあ、この作品は戦うことができないというお話だったので、まあ襲いかかってくる者たち
I
に
even
は
tried
ひ
to
た
be
すら
smart about it. I tried
逃
to
げ
turn
てい
to the
く
side so
だけ
the others would stagger when I threw it
という
off.
こと
But
です
the
ね。
game's just like, no, I got your number, pal. This is fun.
Oh dear.
This is
Run.
fine. Normally I would drop the flare here, but I'm a little worried that it's gonna do some shenanigans, so I'm gonna keep it for a couple more rooms. Yeah, there's one in here. If I didn't have the flare, I would probably get grabbed. That's fine. That's why we keep it. Also, we are coming up on Gumballs. So
Hooray.
if anybody wants to join me in our little game, it's coming. A couple hallways to get through.
You can do it. They usually tend to stop messing with you once you pass the toucan.
Yeah. Here we go. Also, flashing light warning. The flashlight will be flashing the entire time we're at the gumball machine, unfortunately. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9. This isn't looking good.
これは何か必要なのがいて、多分乱数かなんかなんですかね。
10 gumballs. Apparently the count just entered the stream. Minus the lightning.
Yeah, so that made me really nervous. You can just get like 8 bad gumballs in a row.
どうやら雰囲気的に裏世界というものから元に戻ってきたようですね。
UFO in the pet shop.
Yes.
何かを撮影して、
The UFO ending in this game is great, by the way.
It is.
So we're currently at 9 UFOs. We have 4 more to go.
That seems like so many. Alright, so here's a fun little thing. You can actually back out of this interaction.
車の模型を
I'm gonna
動かして、
position myself where when I grab the
あ
key,
あ、
I
こ
can
れ
just
で、
return
あ、
and immediately
中に
go.
鍵が入ってるんですね。
Much less awkward than trying to fight with the camera stick.
Oh, nice.
普通に取り出すのではダメだったんですかね。
That's the thing about Silent Hill games, kind of in general, though, right? Like, especially the ones that don't have many skips, like Downpour and this one, and it's a lot of just really minute optimizations that you normally wouldn't think about.
And of course, we go through this door because it is a faster code since this is 1789. The other shop is 2050.
Yep. And I take a kind of weird angle towards the keypad there because when you interact with something and it zooms the camera in, you actually preserve momentum for just a second or so. So I do that so that when I go into the keypad, Harry runs to the front of the door and lets me open the door immediately when I back out. Nice little indoor movie theater here.
ここは雰囲気を見るに、さっ
There's
き、
like a little
こ
crane
こ
game
が
over
映
here
画
that you
館
can
で、
actually interact
なんか
with.
ショッ
That's
ピングモールみたいなとこにいるんですかね、
right
今。
in the All Mementos category. And so, a fun little tidbit here. For any percent, what you would like to see here is you would want to get out of the theater before an hour, I think is what it is. Technically, you want it before 59 if you're grinding for world record, but under an hour is a good run. Yeah, we're doing UFO ending and we just got out at 51. So that's how
Let's
much
go.
of a difference we've already made through this tray skips. And we still have like 20 minutes to go.
GG's.
So we're coming up to the Green Lion Antique Store, which is another important part of Silent Hill 1. In this game, it's actually just where we live, or where our wife and daughter live.
Yes, because there are some spoilers that we're not giving away at this point. But also Dahlia owns the pawn shop as well, and there's UFO.
Oh, I got the little visual
number
bug.
10.
で、ここ
I
は
picked up the
The
key
visual
and it
bug?
didn't. Yeah, it doesn't make the key
ド
disappear.
ルのマークがありましたが、
But I
銀
still
行か
grabbed
何か
it.
ですかね。銀行なのかな。
Very nice.
This is also one of my favorite cutscenes to skip.
How do you know me?
This is like a big, long, drawn-out dialogue,
Where's
but
Cheryl?
instead we're just like,
Still
at the lighthouse?
maybe.
No.
bye. We don't even stay for the reveal that Dahlia has secretly been our wife the entire time.
Yes, because Harry remembers his child, but not the mother of said child. It's really weird.
Yep. But
However,
now,
the big plot reveal is, I don't know if we should spoil it or not.
I mean, we might as well. It's not like we're gonna get the same kind of big reveal since we're getting UFO ending.
This is true. Harry is dead. None of this is real. This is
Yeah.
all in Cheryl's mind.
Every time we're in Kaufman's office, we're actually playing as Cheryl, seeking therapy because she cannot come to grips with the fact that her father is dead. She's actually like a full-grown adult in the game. This is 18 years after the death of Harry Mason, which happened when she was
おっと、飛び降りて、
7.
Yeah, because she's 25 in the Kaufman section.
だいぶ落ちてますが、
So, rip Harry, this is all a lie.
Indeed. Also, fun fact, don't look down, otherwise you can soft lock yourself. And there's Cheryl falling down. In the Wii version, it's just a shadow. I think it looks cooler that there's an actual model falling and waving at you rather than just a shadow.
I agree. It looks better.
だいぶ落ちたようですが、ピンピンしてますね。
Nonsensical places to run through. A couple of them will have enemies, but a lot of it is just this impossible
で、
space.
雰囲気的にまた裏世界ですかね。 入
Yeah,
っ
there's
て、
really not a lot that goes on here until like the very end, where we get stuck in a labyrinth and we have to actually pay attention to environmental clues to know which way to go. Or
This is also what I consider to be the last chase sequence.
that's fair.
Because the
Of course, you're
actual
in the
last one we have to
middle.
get caught.
ああ、襲いかかってきますね。
Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. This is okay.
先ほどの
Almost
落ちても
got away.
平気なところを見るに、多少絡まれても、この人平気なんじゃないかなと思うんですけど。
Again, the chase sequences here are very short in comparison to how they usually go. Because obviously it was go through 2 doors and you're fine, and unfortunately we'd lose our dude speed every time, which is annoying.
Mm-hmm. And that first raw shock is always there in the hallway. You just have to get incredibly
ああ、なるほ
lucky
ど。
for it to be
ファン
positioned
の方が
in
ちょっと
the one specific
近
spot
づ
it
き
can
すぎただ
spawn
けかも。
and not grab you.
なるほどね。
Which I would say has happened once in all the times I've run this game.
Cheryl has something very important she wants to tell you. Shit.
It's not that.
She's say a lot. She's gonna say it a lot in a second.
また落ちましたね。
I love my daddy. I love my daddy.
As it gets slowly more and more distorted the longer you go.
My favorite part is that it's literally the scene from the title menu too.
Yep.
で、ま
And
た
also
落
when
ち
you
て
gain control of Harry that first time.
着地して、
Mm-hmm.
Now we're in the labyrinth. Again, the flashlight kind of tells you where to go because you can kind of see the
何かあり
walls
ま
on
す
the
ね。
right
Yeah.
as we slowly get.
何かありましたが、多分今カットされたのかな。カットされたのか、
So
ワープしたのか。
this is a preset path. The way that you're supposed to figure it out casually is because of the ice on the walls, and I don't like that. Usually I can squeeze by you, but that's fine.
Oh no.
Oh, no, 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 no. Okay, good, 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 good. Leave me alone. Bye.
But yes, generally I tell
あ、
people.
この火みたいなものを目の前にやると一応ひるむんですね。 さっきの雰囲気的に。
which it took me a very long time to figure out casually. I think my first time playing through the game, I actually ended up getting to the end by accident, which, considering how many turns it takes, is slightly miraculous.
Mm-hmm. I had
You know, I
Emma
think
told
we're
me what to do.
getting
And I was
somewhere.
like, all right, let's go.
We're all
これでまた話がちょっと一区切りしましたっていう感じですかね。
Okay, so this is going to be the only time where I actually need to pick out a specific set of answers. And that's because this affects the dialogue in a car sequence that I can't skip.
You know,
And now we're in my favorite puzzle. We get to match up the couples, doesn't matter how you do it, but the fastest way is to make everyone
写真を動かして、
Well,
okay.
almost every.
Now tell me which of those couples are
The
still
others are
together.
bisexual accounts.
I'm joking. You know, I'm just trying to
こ
provoke.
れも何か
We love the
エンディングに
representation.
関係あるのかな？
Let's keep going. We're really making progress here.
I'm pretty sure therapists aren't supposed to provoke you.
I'm pretty sure you're right. But like I said before, they're also not supposed to be drinking during your sessions.
で、また場面が進んで、
We're at Midwich too, John?
A few years back, yeah. Prom king, prom
So
queen.
And-
doing
John got to be
that
king because his
sequence,
family
the way
owns
we
half
did
the
it,
town.
or the
I
way
was queen
Shmumbler did
because
it,
I looked
gives
great
us
in
the fastest
dress.
dialogue.
You still fit into that
By
dress?
doing
I fit
the
this one
proper
very well.
answers about
Right there.
marriage,
What?
you get a much
You bring
longer
along this guy
dialogue
to what,
sequence.
taunt me?
Hey, sorry if
You think this is
Yeah,
about
this
you?
this scene
Harry's
can
here because he
vary
needs help.
by a
I'm not the one
very
who
large
needs
amount of
the
time.
reunion.
I actually had it in my head. We might try and
And
make
since
this
you
work.
can't skip it,
God,
yeah,
you are so different.
you got to make sure you make the right choices.
We are so different. Stop the
It's
car.
it's kind of a
Stop
weird
the
thing because
car.
you can't actually skip the car
Stop the
ride,
damn
and it will let you
car.
get out of the car.
Jesus!
But the issue is when you
You
open the
could've
door
killed
to the
us.
sewer, the game crashes then.
Sorry, Harry.
Because it hasn't loaded the area because
何か
it
あっ
thinks the
たっ
cutscene is
ぽい
still
ですね。
going, and it doesn't actually load it until
She wants
after.
me to go after her.
I've toyed around with the idea that maybe I could skip it and then just wait the duration of the cutscene
なんか車の
and
事故で
just
もあったの
save
か
the
な？
time of how long it would take me to run to the door.
で、出
But
て、
there's no guarantee that that would actually work. Because sometimes if the game doesn't load something, it just gives up and never does.
進んでいきますが、
Anyway,
先ほどおった人はどこに行ったんでしょうね。
you would probably think to yourself, there's no UFO underground in the sewer, right?
Nope, there is.
Well, yeah.
It's the one that's the most missed.
It's also the most annoying one because you're trying to avoid perpetual phone calls at the same time.
Yes, because Cheryl keeps constantly calling you. And on UFO, you have to skip that phone call 3 times, whereas the other categories is only
ス
twice.
トーリー的には
Because the
あと
alternative is
20
answering the
分
phone
ほど
call
で
and
終
you
わりそうな時間になってるので、まあ結構いいところには来てるとは思うんですが、
So literally hanging up the phone 4 times is still faster than just answering the phone. I'm not getting away with just 2
Oh.
hang-ups. Oh.
New strat discovered? Question mark.
No. Well,
Oh, no.
kind of. I just got unlucky and got the phone call after turning the crank. Sometimes that just happens.
And now we only have 2 UFOs remaining. Funny
And one of
enough,
them
there's
is-
the pier here is like no UFOs allowed. It's like what?
Yeah. Nice. Oh, darn. I didn't hold it long enough.
Oh no.
The one time I actually grabbed the handle. So something I noticed, by the way, is when you go into those interactions, it preserves your camera angle. So the best way to get that is to just aim it where the handle would be in the middle of your camera.
Also, what Michelle does in
You're
that
getting
cutscene is
deep in it.
different. She could be eating
Now I
cake
can
or she could be
ま
almost
た場面が戻ってまた一区切り
based on
つ
your
いて。
choices.
All this talking, you're obsessed with
Ah,
not
yes.
having sex.
The tiger in
Come on.
space.
Let's have some.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. Oh dear.
おっと、これはソフトロックかなんかかかりましたか？
You know what the funny thing is?
You don't have a safety save here?
Correct, because this is one of the safe ones. I've never actually had a crash here.
Oh
it-
no.
本家はセーフティーセーブがうんぬんかんぬんっていうのをちょっと言ってます
Don't
が、
mind that.
おっと電源を切ったということは復帰しないと判断して、
I see. What
セーフティーセーブがあるのかな？
Would it be directly after that?
No, it would actually be directly before the next session.
Wait, さあ、どのあ
Wait, isn't
た
the
り
tiger
で
in space
の
the last
データが
session?
あったとして、
Oh,
どの
yeah.
データがあるんですかね？
And then it would be the ending.
That was the Okay. Yeah, it's either go forward or go back to Lisa. And back to Lisa is about 10 minutes. So I guess we'll go forward.
まあ、本番の魔物と言いますか、まあやっぱディスクを開けてスキップしてるっていうのであれば、まあタイミングによってはこういうリスクもありますよね。
Oh, come on. Don't tell me you're not going to recognize the memory card. I literally tested this yesterday.
おっと、もう一回再起動？
Okay, so here's the thing. The time between where I crashed here and where my next save is approximately 4 minutes of gameplay. All you do is you run through an amusement park. You come out of the amusement park, there's a UFO on a pier, and then you hit the boat. And the boat is where the save is. Wait. Did I say? Hang on a second. We'll see. We'll see where it is.
お、何か読み込みましたね。さっきは、そうですね。もしかしたらメモリーカードの認識に失敗してたのかもしれないです。
Oh, okay, good. We're right where we left off at. No?
はい、戻ってきて、
Yes.
さっきの直前ぐらいのところ
Cool.
なのかな？
All we did was skiff the tiger in space and Kaufman.
ここでセーフティーセーブを置いてあったっていうことは、もしかしたらここ固まりやすいのかな？
Well,
Getting
some
deep
of
in
it.
it now, I can
I'm still gonna
almost
skip it.
taste
Like,
it. All this
I'm not gonna
talking,
let it
You're obsessed with not
skipping
having
one or
sex.
crashing once deter me, considering it's literally never done that before. Very rude, by the way. Thank you so much, game.
お、進んだ進んだ。
Whew.
None of them? Now you're screwing with me. You're in denial about sex. Sex and
Yeah.
death.
奏者の方もちょっとほっと一安心といったような雰囲
So,
気です
Crisis
ね。
averted.
Loss of self, the tiger in space. A
The only
plea for
concern now
annihilation, to deny sex
is
to
this
deny
backup save
death
does not have all the
itself.
UFOs. It has the UFOs active, so I will be able to get the last two that were missing.
You know,
But I
people
planned for
who are
this. I
getting
planned for
enough
this.
don't need
I have a
analysis.
recording of the UFO ending
You clearly
ready,
are not getting
already
enough.
placed where it needs to be. We can go ahead and just slap
Let's
that
see
sucker
this
in at
through
the
to
end,
the
call it
end.
a day. So I will not be skimping on my promise to show off our nice little ending. Unfortunately, it just won't be through the game itself. But it's okay, we're good. We're good. That's annoying. I literally went through the whole week practicing and never had a single crash. But that's marathon, babies.
At least we have the means to show off the ending, and that's the important part.
Yes. Yeah, ironically, when I was making the safety saves, you know how I said I've been missing the mall UFO? Yeah.
また雨が戻ってき
That's the
て、
one that's not on the save file. But every time you try to make a safety save, because there's you're not allowed to save to other slots. You're not allowed to copy slots. So every time you do a safety save, you literally have to replay the game from scratch. I played through this game so many times. Alright.
雰囲気的に裏世界に入ったのかな。
Gotta come back to reach another shadow. Can't see it because I'm keeping the flashlight off for lag reduction, but there's a shadow figure that spawns at 4 different locations, and I'm just running to the general area to trigger the next one.
You also get messages about what's happening to your phone. Like, you get the messages into your phone, and basically, she's trying to keep her parents together, and it doesn't work.
Alright, there's our second to last UFO. You don't even actually see it on the screen when you're able to take a picture of it. Which is hilarious because the
定
last
期的
UFO
になんかカメラで撮ってるような気もするんですが、何かあるんですかね。
few cutscenes to skip. We're gonna have a mandatory
となんか
phone
服
call,
装が
and unfortunately it is
画面変わっ
not
て
one that you can skip. By which I don't mean that the game crashes if you try
随
to
分
skip
こ
it,
の
it's just I've tried so many times
景色には似つかわしくない
It's too late
服装
now.
に変わりましたが、
I'm sorry.
Thankfully, it's pretty short. And now we run to the lighthouse. So, yeah.
なるほど
if our
UFO
host
あ
has
UFO エンディング
anything
に行く
to
ため
read out,
に
this will be
UFO を撮る必要性があるということで、ちょっと見えなかったんですが、
I do have a bit of a silver lining to that crash that happened
実は
earlier.
UFO が
And it's
映
a
る場所だったんですかね。
$5.50 donation from Riley333 who says, donating for the Silent Hill hard crash. Looks like the UFO came early.
Nice.
そうですね、明らかに白い息を吐いてる中、この格好は寒すぎると思いますね。
The screen, and now our goal is to die as quickly as possible. So,
So
gonna
we're
run
looking
backwards.
for 4 of them to hug us.
Yes, because if you get one on every possible bit of your surface area, you immediately die. And I have 2 that I saw, so this is off to a great start. Okay, there's a third. This is okay.
で、
Come on, buddy.
今度はあまり抵抗しないですね。これは
You know, there's
何
a
か
chill
や
in
ら
the
れるの
air,
を待ってい
the
る。
fresh snow falling. We're running across a frozen lake. It's always wonderful to have that bit of friendly.
熱狂的なファンか
It's
ら、
actually not bad at all.
おっと、
There is a problem though that some of them have gaping holes in the middle of their stomach, so
やられて
it's semantics.
Apparently, they also have holes in their heads. Oddly enough, I don't think I've had that variation on a
画
run yet.
面は変わって、
And then
今度はなんか水中にいますね。
into the water. This doesn't speed anything up, by the way. You're still gonna drown as fast as you.
今度は何をしてる？
It's just
Yeah.
泳
less annoying.
い
Yeah.
で
The
る。
only
いや、泳いで
the
るにしては
only
進ん
thing
でな
that
いな。
slows you down here is if you actually try to swim to the lighthouse, because apparently if you swim, you drown more slowly. So it's a scripted death. We just don't do anything to make it a few seconds faster.
なんかゴボゴボ言ってますけど。
There we go.
It also saves our fingers because it hurts after mashing two buttons after a while.
Yeah, you have to do it for like a minute and 15 seconds or something.
これは意識を失ったのか。
All right.
え？
Ooh, I got the weird
流
positioning. I like
さ
that.
れて陸に上がってきたのかな。 ああ、明らかに UFO ですね。
Choices I made during this run, it made it where I started like in
これはもういよいよエンディングに近づいてきてるんですかね、これは。
On typical any percent runs, you'll start by the water, which is a little more out of the way. But time is coming up. I do want to say thank you to Abby for being here for commentary. Also, huge shout outs to Abby and Emma for really being the people who brought me back into this game.
You're welcome. We did a three-way race of every category.
戻ってきたと思ったら、なんか今変な。おっと、
After all we've said, all we've discussed,
急に
you honestly believe
アニメーション
that
チッ
your
クになりま
father
した
was
よ。
abducted by aliens? It made more sense when you were talking about cults and demons.
This whole town, it's really a giant spaceship.
James,
Wrong day again.
see you tomorrow, James.
これは、ああ、なるほど。これはもう UFO エンディングに入ったんですね。
Where were we?
My mother was a bitch.
Go on. I'm listening.
おっとおっと
Oh, and Cheryl becomes a dog.
Yes.
Deny the
So,
daddy
yes.
終わった ?GG です。
There's UFO ending. Thanks to Midwest Speedfest for putting on this event and for having me here. Always love being around for this kind of stuff.
これは何が起こったんですかね。
I hope you all enjoy the rest of your events.
Scraps of a father who never existed. Wake up!
ああ、なるほど。君の出番じゃないみたいなことを言われていた。終わりました。はい、はい、はい。ということで、ここまでは、サイレントヒル、シャッタードメモリーズ、Any% の、DTS で、エンディングの方が UFO エンディングでした。はい、ありがとうございました。それでは、次のゲームの準備がありますので、一旦ここで失礼いたします。引き続き、配信の方お楽しみください。
One of my favorite versions of the UFO ending